Welcome to Life Skills TTP. Today, the ecology of connection, the art and science of cultivating adult friendships. Let's find out what the ecology of connection is. Give me a paragraph on the ecology of connection. Okay, I thought it was going to read it off, so it did not. Oh yeah, we doing this straight on the fly. We ain't going to try to make this pretty. So the ecology of connection, and I do have the paragraph over here. I'm going to read that off what it says. It's always good to check the digital world AI to see what is this pulling for something, it created it, or what did it do with my writings and actually what did it add. But let's continue. The biological imperative of belonging. Adult friendship often feels elusive yet scientific. Consensus shows that stronger community ties directly support neurodoctrine, regulation, and overall mental health. A thriving human ecosystem requires at least 5 close supportive connections to buffer against isolation and anxiety. And I can tell you, I don't have 5. So do I make the other people up? No, I'm going to just speak for myself. I have my circle that small for a reason, because it just seemed less, it was better on my nervous system. I actually made a video, my nervous system, on Life Skills TTP. It's about episode 21 or something like that on there, my nervous system. So I don't have 5. And so this is interesting. And maybe I should. Let's move on. Okay. The concentric layers of social ties. So at the top we have belongingness, a macro level integration, weak ties found in community organizations, civic groups, and shared societal identity. The next we have is bonding, a meso-level connection, interactive networks like recreational clubs, workplace peers, and regular hobby groups. Bonding. You can throw tennis, racquetball, jogging, skateboarding. You could add many things to that. The next is binding. Micro-level intimacy, close dyadic relationships, intimate confidants, and the inner circle. So this is a concentric layers of social ties. We're going to move on to the next. Pathways of protection. The main effect model, structural interrogation, directly promotes positive psychological states and sense of purpose and health-promoting behaviors, e.g. exercise regardless of stress levels. Stress buffering model. Functional support provides coping assistance strictly during times of acute stress, actively altering psychological responses. And so at the bottom here we have stressors. Perceived social support, perceived, and then you got benign appraisal and reduced psychological response. We'll get to that later. The anatomy of adult avoidance. This to me, is something that was developed in music, hip hop, anything that had to do with money and power. These people avoided adults. So the modern infrastructure of adulthood lacks the built-in vulnerability of childhood recess. Without organic proximity, adults must actively innate connection, a process frequently derailed by two distinct forms of avoidance. So we have two, and one is overt and the other is covert. And so overt is the physical refusal to engage, staying home due to fear of rejection, or prioritizing the comfort of isolation. Overt. Covert is showing up physically, but checking out mentally, scrolling on the phone and speaking to familiar acquaintances, and avoiding introductions. And so everybody wants to be your friend. They are just waiting for you to initiate. Next. Here is an exposure activation curve. So you have awkwardness, right? You have the intensity of the feeling. You have affinity, right? 20% increase baseline liking if you're gonna like, right? Number of interactions. So what are your interactions per day? Now I'm gonna pause right here because this has to do with you actually getting outside. I have many videos where I'm like, get outside sometime, enjoy the sunlight, find some outdoor things to do. You know, I hike, I got the dogs, all that stuff is going on Area 3251, but I have a lot of video and footage that deals with that. So the mere exposure effects dictates that interactions are inherently awkward at first, persist past the fifth interaction to allow familiarity and trust to take root. And it's just true to the form. It's probably even worse now because people are in serious character. So you got to really dissect what's happening. The connection matrix. And this is something that I like. This is something I came up with. Vulnerability required. Vulnerability required. Transparency required. Let's put that up high. Retreat, standalone, art, storytelling workshops, high impact, but requires post-event repotting. See, the recurring support groups, intense language classes, local board memberships accelerates deep bonding. These are all community things. And so off the museum, visit large musical festivals. I don't agree with that. I do museums and art things. We've been doing that since we've been together now 11 years. It's one of our things with the arts. You see the channel, it is what it is. Real big in that. And so running clubs, in trauma sports, community gardens, great for exposure, especially if older like us, get into those things. Eating some more high energy food. That way, you know, it helps you out when you're older. Interaction frequency. And target the right-hand coordinate shared recurring hobbies. Build the infrastructure for the unplanned interaction, which means repetition. Get in front of as many people as you can. People know when they talk to me, when I speak, when I do certain things. I've been at like thousands of people. I'm not talking about speaking in front of thousands of people. I'm talking about interaction year after year after year after year in front of people, different kind of species, different kinds of entities, different kinds of things. So I don't really think that I could be fooled. I know they're like, yeah, right. And I'll probably like, yeah, you probably can. But I am real deep into that. And we're going to get into that moon too. All right, the connection matrix. Next, we have the Law of Inferred Attraction. So assume acceptance. Enter a space assuming others already like you. Now, why am I saying this? Why is this important? Because of COVID-19. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this right now. It is going to go down as one of the worst social experiments and social things that has happened in America in history, because they're keeping all of the things quiet that's been happening slowly but surely running down the road. And it is going to take its course, and people don't understand that. So looking at that stuff on the internet, believing in those things on the internet, if you don't know about people that work on their craft, real people, real actors, real singers, real musicians, not AI stuff. I told you I use a lot of AI stuff, but I deal with the real stuff also. That's why the blend is eclectic like that, because I'm balanced. I do both. And so actual acceptance, others are reciprocate with genuine warmth and inclusion. And so inferred attractions, others perceive you as warm as a signal that you like them. Warm behaviors share more, disagreeing less, and projecting positive energy. And so it's basically being yourself, so the individual can choose whether or not they want to engage with you, talk to you, say whatever they're going to say to you, and do other things. Because you have to give them that option, not the character, not the stuff that we developed as a kid, not as an adolescent, as an adult, these things we have that we know we can make up and do stuff and slide by, but actually show up front and center and actually be present and be transparent and not really worry about if somebody is going to actually like you. So the linking gap to that is strangers consistently underestimate how much they are liked by conversation partners. Fearing rejection creates coldness, the willing that exacts rejection into existence. Assuming you are liked brings you closer to the truth. So the linking gap. The strangers consistently underestimate how much they are liked by the conversation partners. Feeling rejection creates coldness, the willing to exact rejection into existence. Assuming you are liked brings you closer to the truth. Maybe. I think that you just do your research. So the 4 nutrients of a close bond: positivity, supportiveness, openness, and interaction. So positivity is the relationship generates rewarding, empathetic happiness, sharing joy buffers against stress. Supportiveness, providing functional social resources, emotional reassurance, and the equal perception of mutual resilience. The openness is the psychological safety to be authentic, express deep emotions, and engage in mutual vulnerability without judgment. Interaction, consistent, shared physical time and joint activities. Friendships weaken without physical presence to anchor the other 3 qualities of the close bond. So you have positivity, supportiveness, openness, and interaction. And let's move on to the next. Okay, so we have the repotting mechanism. Okay, generating exclusivity, the ask. And so you have the initial context and the new environment. The workspace, the running club, the yoga studio. The new environment, a dinner party, coffee on the weekend, happy hour. So you're going to take the initial context, workspace, running club, and the yoga studio, and you're going to generate an exclusivity in the ask and you're going to change that to the new environment. Now, roots of intimacy cannot expand until the context changes. Repotting a connection means varying the setting in which you are to interact, breaking the boundary of proximity to create genuine exclusivity. The repotting mechanism. Let's move on. We have the architecture of a close bond. And so you got positivity, supportiveness, openness, and interaction. Assuming acceptance, vulnerability, repotting context. So the soil, a mere exposure to proximity and proximity. Casual acquaintance transform into inner circle confidants when psychological transition mechanisms, vulnerability, repotting, are actively layered onto physical proximity. So I believe that's just repetition. It's like staying in the light. Okay, no, I don't. No, no, I'm going this way. Sorry, no, I'm going this way. No, this way. Sorry. You're like, what? You're not listening? No, I'm not listening. I'm going this way. Yeah. That's the architecture of a close bond. You have to tell the individual that you feel is the closest to you because you're not seeing eye to eye, that you need to get it together so we could go that way. Let's move on. So the natural shifting of the root system. Friendships rarely end in dramatic ruptures. They subtly shift. Adult relationships change, not because of personal failure, but because of captivity becomes finite and individuals evolve. And so geography, closeness thrives on access. When physical proximity changes, the relationship must mechanically recalibrate. So yeah, definitely if you're going into somebody else's environment, yeah, you're going to have to naturally shift. You're going to have to calibrate, definitely. So the identity, the process of differentiation, strengthening your own sense of self naturally alters your capability. And you got time margins and you got the nervous system. I'm gonna stop. I'm trying to read this really, really far over here. And also, I need my glasses. And so you got the friendship audit diagnostic. We're gonna move on from that. All of these are not relevant. Okay, this is what I was trying to get to. Recalibrating the inner circle. So my inner circle consists of 3, 2.5, 3. They say you need at least 5. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I recalibrate the inner circle. They're using that format. You should have at least 5 people in your life that's what's considered you social and that you're not in isolation. And I'm just giving you what the standard is. Okay? So they treat their presence in your life and yours in theirs as mutual privilege. They navigate life with the baseline of positive energy and extend compassion to others. They accurately recognize the inherent worth and celebrate your authentic self. And that's one of my things where I say, appreciation, not validation you want to be validated, but appreciation feels better. And so that you accurately recognize that your inherent worth and celebrate your authentic self. And that's one of my things. So, and they free their time to see you rather than only seeing you in their free time. Huh? They free their time to see you rather than only seeing you in their free time. So they see you at your worst, but continue to hold you in the highest light. And that these are my slides and stuff that I came up with. So recalibrating the inner circle. And these are very key and crucial in my life. And they are very, very, very helpful for me. And I do this work daily. It's why I do the channel, because it helps me. Even when I'm doing this, I go, oh man, I'm thinking of something else. So tending to the garden. And so I'll probably say, oh, I'm going to close with tending to the garden. Yes, I think I'm going to close with tending to the garden. Belonging is not serendipitous accident. It is an ongoing practice by actively planting seeds through shared vulnerability, repotting connections into new contexts, and gracefully pruning misaligned ties. We construct a resilient social ecosystem capable of sustaining us through every season of life. Tending to the garden. Staying ahead, staying in real time. This channel, look, we hit 50K. I appreciate the subscribers. I appreciate all the new subscribers. I'm going to get some more interactive things. Like I told you, I'm figuring this out. It's not the only thing that I do. I do several things. I love doing this, and it's one of the reasons why I continue to do it, even though it costs me more than than I bring it in. So I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate the support, and till next time.